Hey, what's up everyone? Good afternoon. Welcome to the Club Open Scrims, and this is day 9. PMCO teams from across the European region, from, good performers, I should say, like from the past split 2021, the spring split. We have teams from the European wildcard region, the United Kingdom region, France, Germany, and Turkey. So we've got some teams coming in, right? Invited, basically. So if you want to play, do better in your own PMCO and you may get a chance to be invited to play these scrims. And so this is day 9 now, so we've done a good few weeks, and it's on every Tuesday and Wednesday, split between me and the very wonderful Maxman30. So forgot to introduce myself. Of course, you can see on the YouTube channel already. My name is Professor Tarzan. I am an analyst and a caster, and I'm your host for today as well. And we will have 4 games as usual. And 4 games, and the match order is as follows. We have Miramar, then Sanhok, then we have 2 Erangel games. So Erangel remains to be very, very important. The classical map will have back-to-back for these teams to test their skills, then doing it straight after to adapt and maybe get themselves a good advantage from that next game onwards. And great. A lot of people slowly coming in, should be racking up in that number soon as well. And not the best weather today, a little bit gloomy, so I may need to adjust my cam later on. And you can see I've lost my cap, and I didn't really get a simple home-based haircut. Doesn't really work in my favor, but we do that anyway. So soon we will have a better outlook. And tell me what you think about losing the cap as well. And En is in here, Matitsu in here as well. So 4 games today, and I will be back tomorrow as well. So days 9 and 10 will be me. If you don't like me, I'm sorry. I'll do my best for you. And we will have to hop over to that game screen later on. Whatever you see, I see. I don't have any extra information. I don't have map stream, no nothing. And the small bits, of course, I'm provided with a clean feed by a very wonderful production from StarLadder, and I would need to, tweak a little bit of things, make sure we have the good volume, good quality, good audio. So your input will be much appreciated. If sometimes I do that small screw up when I forget to unmute my mic, then you get to remind me and be one of my favorite person of the day, right? So let's go through the 16 teams we have for today. Some of them you've seen them before already, and some of them played more of these Club Open Scrims in the past few weeks. Some of them didn't play as many, but you know what? We have that leaderboard anyway. We have a little bit of stats in between the games when it comes to kills, damage, etc. So I think the focus is to look at the point per game, average point per game, I should say. That's a very good indicator as to how good teams are performing, as well as the ratio between the placement points and kill points. So without further ado, let's go through the teams we have for today. We have Conqueror UK, 777 Esports, Daos Legion, xteam, Lakonostra Power, SNAKEsquad, 7 Sins, Take Cover, Conqueror Germany, NERA, WSK, Execution UK, IMPERIA, Entropiq, CrtlAltDelete, and UltimaNecat. So a lot of these teams were known teams, right? For example, xteam, Daos Legion, they did very well in the European wildcard region, almost made it to PMCO Europe West. So they are up there, and they've shown what they can do in these scrims as well. Lakonostra Power, through 2020, even 2019, we've heard of this team. So nothing new, basically a household name already. Same for SNAKEsquad, right? And Execution UK, a team that played a lot of our this Club Open Scrims and being more and more consistent as they play. Like new roster, etc., new chemistry, and they're able to put in a good feel amount of the best players to play the scrim, because it's a tricky time of day, let's be honest. So some of these teams are playing as trios sometimes, and not all the teams turn up to all the games. So that's something that we should expect as well, but be understanding as to why it's happening too. Entropiq, definitely one of the teams that has a highest point per game. So very good team coming in, and one of the teams that's shown most of the textbook plays, securing securing rotations, holding a pocket of position on the map, and making the most out of it. And people slowly coming in. Welcome, welcome, and hopefully you will enjoy this. 10 people now, and people say, honestly, Mr. Cap, I don't know, man. Like, why? Do I look bald or anything? I actually got good hair, but it's just lockdown that, you know, I haven't had a haircut in months, you know, and so, you know what? It's good. I will try this look, rock between the two looks, and see which one people like more. You know, it looked like I'm just fresh out of the shower. It's not really, it's just my hairline. I don't have a receding hairline, it's just all going to the back. And trust me, if I don't have my headset, or if I don't have like a hairband or anything, it will hit my bottom lip, and that is how long and messy it can get. Right. Oh look, have a sip of water as well. So, how's everyone doing? Tell me, how's your day? How's your life through lockdown, etc. And don't forget to grab a sip of water. So 4 games. I'm going to put some money onto a few good teams today. And you know what? The map is coming in right now. So let's head over to that map. Let me quickly tweak this as per usual. Make sure that we all have the highest quality right in here. 1860, that is brilliant. Oh, don't want to do that. Let me know if this game volume would be good enough later on. And we will crack on with this, bring that volume from the music down, and then we will just enjoy this game, shall we? Miramar, one of my favorite maps back when I played the game as an RGL as well. Pretty nice playing path, I have to say, even for Los Leones. A pretty southern drop is reachable. It's basically with the playing path going from the south, south of El Arza through basically Picado all the way to La Drillera. So a lot of these teams like going to a very northern drop spot, and we can see SNAKEsquad actually heading to Tierra Bronca. Not anyone to contest that one, of course. There's still bits of the map that we don't see on this overlay, but we do appreciate all the effort, and look at the beautiful bits on the side as well. Right, all the players' name, etc. So no one's contesting that top right side with SNAKEsquad. Execution UK heading over to Impala as well. So La Bendita, Minas Generalis, a lot of these drops can be very highly congested and contested. Not the case right now. CrtlAltDelete also, you know, a CAD, that is their team tag, heading towards Los Leones. But at what cost? But you know what, early fight coming through already. Conqueror UK fighting with the side of WSK, and that with the early game SKS as well. Maybe not a lot of gear, and you can see how Conqueror has already lost one and another one knocked. So Legend is the only one standing for this team right now, contesting this Hacienda drop. WSK is a team that we are waiting for them to show, you know, what they can do, and might be playing as a trio as well. So we're expecting 16 teams, but we have 13 for this one and 46 players, and maybe down to a 1v1 right now. Loka needs to buy some time if he wants to use the numbers advantage. The pickup onto Andra has been completed, so let's see how they pour this one through. Now with the numbers advantage, slowly pushing into the garage, and that is just a strong one. Tommy gun, very strong at any phases of the game. Since the buff, a lot of people prefer that. So first team out, unfortunately, is Conqueror UK, and WSK has the opening clean squad wipe. And Monte Nuevo, this is the home of xteam, and trying to challenge that is so team 8 is take cover. So one of them with a different clan tag, doesn't matter. Nightmare's trying to provide a lot of work from the side as well. And this is Deadly almost taking the second one, already getting that 1 kill. The knock comes through, so 2v4 situation right now for the side of take cover. Flush comes through soon as well. xteam continues to dominate. The third one comes through. Do not easily come into the area of control by xteam. They are very, very dangerous squad. Ultra is the last one standing. Do put some work in as well though, with that 6-time single tap on the M16. We'll knock that one. He should kind of certainly try to finish this one, but he's trying to peek again. That is quite dangerous, and at least he's restricting his peek one more time. And not sure whether he can confirm this one, but that kill will be a very much needed 1 point with the extended mag onto VSS as well. Almost take that one, but Andy will survive, and the pickup should be there as well. A clean 4v4 team fight, not losing any players from the xteam squad. 2 Conqueror teams in here. Conqueror UK not quite lucky in this one, but Conqueror DE still in here. I believe this is El Pozo, and a very highly contested drop recently in Tier 1, at least for the bits that I've been casting. Been casting the PMCC as well, the Campus Championship, so if you do like this style of casting, join me and Highland Wolf on Saturday and Sunday, also produced by Starladder. Amazing production. And Execution UK, we did kind of hype them up a little bit, you know, for what they've been doing the past few weeks. And that's the benefit of having a more fixed roster who can all turn up around this time for this caliber of practice. But you know what? Can't fault teams who can't do the same. I mean, people have jobs, people have school. And right here, Chimasera, another drop that people quite like. People tend to drop on the south side with the high ground so they can get a lot of risk-free third-person peek and scouting for whoever's trying to go for that lower hill drop and loot. Now, SNAKEsquad here will have a very, very calm and slow phase 1. They can grab a lot of these resources uncontested on the northeast side of the map and come in strong. And SNAKEsquad, a lot of people know that name already. And Daos Legion would be another team who has that same level of reputation right here. UltimaNecat with 1 substitute player who is Malum from 21 Blackjack, now filling in that spot so they can play as a trio, but Tika will first strike onto Necat. A lot of trios in here, so Lakonostra power with a little bit of an opening pressure coming through as well. And it's just crazy how many trios we have, but you know what, never underestimate the power of the trio. We've seen a lot of things done from solos and duos. If you've been watching the past few weeks, you would be able to see that, so no surprise there. And that really tests the skills of players as well, right? Like, hold strong, don't, you know, focus on the mistakes too much, although you may have a rough early game. Allow, you know, the last player or two to increase their chances. Allow them to play calm, you know, provide the info still. Focus on what's the next best thing to do or say, and that's just really, really important. Like your gun skills are important, you know, your macro sense, macro knowledge, map knowledge, etc. important, but emotional control, you know, stuff like that, very, very important still. Mentality, those things really just define the best players. Like, it's very easy to say that you have decent, you know, mechanics. Like from tier 2 above, you can kind of expect that already, but what sets you apart is the professionalism, like your mentality, and how you can, you know, lead the team, you know, bring out the best, have good vibes, etc. Of course, have some fun as well. Right, another interesting bit. So Lakonostra Power have 5 threats. Entho, a very good player that I've seen in the PMCC, crazy fragger, now joining in with the squad, will have to hold this down against Daos Legion. And Daos Legion has, you know, basically all of them, like 3 of them with the Scrim Farm team tag. So I don't know whether to call them Daos Legion or Scrim Farm. I may just call them Scrim Farm. It seems like the 2 organizations or team have some very close association. So maybe just trialing, etc. I mean, so yeah, we will get to clarify that. I can ask these teams as well. And with this northern phase 1, the center being around water treatment is now claimed by WSK. The team that first took out a team around Hacienda will take a center position, and I do like that spot by WSK as a spot that has a lot of overlook. And but hold that thought right now, because Daos Legion's trying to strike, and they will have that number advantage for sure, and the Clowns trying to use that molly, very strong utility, but they will first be under the pressure of 2 knocks, so not scared to fight. It's a side of, oh my god. Are we serious? Lakonostra power with Entho coming in as well, just take the 3v4 and we'll finish that fight so in such a clean manner in the matter of, I don't know, 10 seconds. So Daos Legion needs to go back and figure out what happened there. And like I said, don't underestimate the trios, and we have even more trios. NERA trio as well, Rage OP as losses like Ready Mad OP, and Wanju is here for now, and you can see that they can still do so much work. xteam, we complimented them. Clean 4v4 team fight now facing the trio. No, actually the duo will not find themselves, you know, the advantage right now. And look at the power of trios and duos. I'm just repeating myself again and again. Do not underestimate when you have the momentum as well. Use it in your advantage. Know the difference between aggressive play and disrespectful play, and NERA just takes that 3v4 and win it. I don't know whether it's because of the fact that it's a scrim and people just try to run into fights and, you know, practice a little bit of fighting mechanics, but you can see how these have not been working out so well for some of these teams. Like, it's not even close, right? It's a very quick execution by the winning team to completely remove the other squad, right, in a matter of 20 seconds or something like that. And SNAKEsquad is striking as well. WSK hold this compound to the east of Water Treatment. Has a lot of 360 view, but do bear in mind of the multiple landscapes from the side that provides a lot of dips, a lot of chance for teams to do progressive rotation to slowly push in. So SNAKEsquad will use that time to rotate in upon that first knock. 3 kills on board for WSK. Will still need to hold this one. I mean, with this type of landscape, they need someone on the backdrop. It seems like Loka is in that position to make sure no one's flanking from the side of SNAKEsquad. And as we look at that kill feed, Lakonostra continue to strike as well. Style is a very... There's a lot of hype for this player even when he plays scrims, and I was once told that Style will never die. Whoever... the only people who can kill Style is some Turkish god. So we have had a lot of Turkish gods so far. I'm not saying that Style dies a lot, but to be fair, unless you win the game, you at least have to die once. And WSK still slowly pulling back. I think this is a good maneuver, using the other bits of landscape. First dissect this plateau to 2 halves and just dedicate to control 1 half and not, you know, forcing themselves into the fight. And Loka in position to grab some info with the 3rd person peek, and we will have the next shift coming in soon as well. Teams kind of everywhere, with the eastern side a little bit more open, and that will be another shift, I believe, going to the northwest side, placing this position right here to be on that southeast edge. And SNAKEsquad, Alarav trying to bait some shots, getting more info. He is by his lonesome though. Is a 1-2-1 split. Loka on one side first, forced to slow-mo, and the other player, so the duo is there to strike first. 2 knocks coming through. The last one standing is Andor. I think Alarav is not scared to push up further, with 1 confirmed as well, 2 confirmed, and we can see in the background a team rotating wide on the eastern side. But let's just focus on this last one right here, and WSK's Endora will first get 1 knock, but will just go down after all. But we'll first take 1 player from SNAKEsquad out before he falls, but that will be him taking that 1 placement point with that 9th position. So whoever outsleeps another team will start going into the 2 placement point range, and the Talon is in here. I wonder which team he's playing under. Talon from Umbra used to be in LMV as well, I believe. So a lot of these teams players circulating between, you know, different tier 1 teams, you know, testing their luck, sometimes just friends with each other, you know, subs coming in as a sub, etc. You know, who knows? Chemistry between players are a very interesting topic, same as the car issues in this game style. I think the buggy might be Turkish. Almost killed him right there. And you know, if the car glitches in the mobile version is as crazy as a PC version, that would add so much spice and so much fun to casting these games. I think I'm a bad person for wishing that upon these players, but you know what? It's true. It's part of the screwed up physics anyway. Execution, full squad ups, and just holding a bit of position. This is my concern with this position, right? It's a bit of a plateau. It's a bit more like a low ground position, so a lot of teams can kind of come in and try to choke them if they scout properly. And then NERA down to 2 players after that very beautiful squad wipe onto xteam. They have a very healthy amount of points. Just take, you know, do a little bit of quick math. 4 points, 4 kills mean 4 points. Even if they just die right now, they will have that like 5 points. Or should I just say like 4 points itself is the amount of points that you get for 6th place. So making us aware of how important kill points are. And you know what? Oasis is in play, and I really want to see a circle going over there, because teams don't really know that, and half of the Oasis I will take that, because it's a new part of the map that people don't really go for drops, not for that looting phase, and very rarely do we see it so northern. And you can see the coordinates D and E on the top as well. This is how northern this circle is. And Conqueror DE has one of the best positions, I believe. High ground, a split control, basically getting info on the majority of this new circle, and that is just a very beautiful control by them. As long as they know when to group up, they can just, you know, gather their firepower. And execution will just send in to try to control the northern half, and playing by what's in front of their eyes is important. Assessing what's straight in front will be the name of the game here, because I'd be really surprised if any players can say, I know this part of the map really, really well. So a bit of a clash on the southeast side. Losing 2 players already is CrtlAltDelete. Almost get deleted as well as Lucifer subbing in for this team or trialing. Lakonostra power on that side as well, yet to find a spot in the circle. Trailing behind them are SNAKEsquad, who wiped out WSK earlier. Entropiq also in here. One of their players knocked, but they know how to play these spots. I mean, that is something that they've shown again and again as a squad, and pretty high up that leaderboard as well. I believe one of the biggest amount of kills in this lobby, in this club open scrim, as well as the highest average point per game. And Starkey has such a beautiful position, just trying to stop all those rotations coming in. The relative high ground is very important. SNAKEsquad moving in, backfire spots that, and will be repositioning to make sure he doesn't get taken down from a different angle. So Enther will go for an off angle right now. The 1-2 split coming from like a Nostra power. Tika trying their luck as well with some boat action play. And I mean, this is like a Nostra power, you know, knowing the limits, at least they are on edge right now. I believe every team has a spot in the circle already. And from the side is Lucifer slowly coming in, and will try to strike from behind, but will get punished by backfire. And you know, that's the price that you have to pay. Like, is it worth it? You need to find a good time to strike. And what I always like to tell players, or the players or teams that I coach, is you really need to know the meaning of doing something, or the meaning of holding a position. What I mean is, if you are here now, what does it mean for the next phase? If you can't plan 1 or 2 steps forwards, it's very easy to, you know, do something that hurt yourself in the matter of a minute or so. It seems that every team got that spot, so let's find out how these teams hold up upon the next shift. And Anther will get taken out. SNAKEsquad controls that side. Lakonostra powered down to mostly 2 players. I believe Ticker might be the last one standing because Style got killed. And we will have a northern shift. And you know what? Execution UK just has very, very good predictions, or maybe just luck, like in these scrims, always getting a center zone. But it also relies on them taking a spot that is off center to give them either a position in the next circle or an easy entry to the next one. And that is why a lot of these higher tier teams like to play more center when it comes to later phases, not play edge. Because just more teams for you to get past if you keep playing edge. And of course you can sweep from the outside, but sometimes it's not so lucky. Wanju taken out by Conqueror Germany. Don't know if they prefer me calling them Conqueror DE. But we can see Execution still holding strong as a full squad. Not a lot of full squad right now. I think it's just them and Entropiq. We're down to 7 teams. So the team that goes out now will take at least 2 placement points. Then we go up like this. 2 points, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 15. This is a very interesting part of the map, to be fair. I'd love to see how teams adapt to it. And Entropiq will get some good ways to progressively move in. You know, rich lines and dips can slowly scout for the next position before needing to move. Matt OP almost loses life, but will first land a beautiful grenade onto Freezy. And that revive's not coming through yet. Seems like the side of Execution UK wants to just kill this last player. The numbers advantage may not be clear for them, so grabbing that revive will be quite important, and SNAKEsquad, with a little bit of a split, will lose one more. So it really comes down to how they want to position in relation to each other for these teams. Need to know what it means for the next phase. And otherwise, shifts may not be in the favor. But look at CrtlAltDelete almost delivering a 1v3. But striking from the back is SNAKEsquad, I believe. And that is just a third party coming through. Entropiq to focus on the edge and get taken out from middle of the circle. And that is partially down to, you know, awareness in relation to the circle. You know you're on edge. You need to keep someone on the back, making sure you don't get stabbed from the center. And SNAKEsquad capitalize on that. Entropiq will need to go back and think about that one. And then the next phase goes over to SNAKEsquad. And this is going to be really, really interesting, because it's this type of hardcover means that they have to focus on multiple sides, and it's very unlikely for them to grab all the information. So it's important to dedicate to one side, make sure that they know how to control a good segment of the circle and not get too greedy to kill everyone. After all, there's still 5 teams remaining, but it's crazy, you know, like only got 13 teams. A lot of these teams are not scared to fight, so if it's a tournament, I believe we may still have, you know, 10 to 11 teams at this stage. Insania leading the way, knowing that they need to move closer to the circle. There's a good rotation there, you know, hugging closer to that hillside, you know, can get some info from up top, as well as not too exposed to SNAKEsquad position. I mean, after a look at that landscape surrounding SNAKEsquads, hard to find a spot to hold. One shot from Conqueror Germany. I mean, still a full squad, 2 kills right now. Merlin, the last one standing for this team, will need to have very, very good awareness, reflex, gun skills, and he will need some luck as well. Seems like Conqueror DE will just choke this one player out, and upon him falling, we'll have only 3 teams. So I'm gonna put some money onto Execution because they are looking at multiple sides, but maybe I've cast to curse them. They try to crash, and Sanya get knocked, another one get knocked, so no one could cover the side angle, but they at least clear out SNAKEsquad. So at the price of 1 player, they claim this compound previously controlled by SNAKEsquad. Unbelievable. 4v3 situation right now. Farah needs to hold this down from the outside. 1 to split by Execution UK. 3-player by them against the full squad of Conqueror Germany. And B99 is trying to challenge Farah's position with a suppressed Mini 14. Farah can put a lot of work in. And this is the type of circle, right, in the face of the game that we just are waiting for the circle. No one should risk anything, but look at Farah just using that position right there. Not just him, Malice joined in and will first take out one of the off angle players, turning this into a 3v3. Beautiful work from this team. Literally splitting the circle into northern and southern half, because there's no easy rotations to go around to the other side without getting spotted, and then they will probably meet in the middle. Phase 6 has popped, and then they will need to go out into this slightly more open position, so we rely on those cars. That drop might be able to provide cover, and then we also need a lot of soft cover coming from smoke. Seems like G99 have one of the best spots to, you know, play a little bit of spoiler, can put a lot of damage before he runs back downhill towards the circle. So let's see how they do this. It could be anyone's game at the moment. And Farah is already setting up a little bit of the next bit of cover using that smoke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 smokes from all these players, and then Freezy tries to move out first. Aga strikes first, and then Farah is moving in, taking that time as G99 is moving, so he will first actually get baited. Malice is there to cover and watch it. 1-for-1 right now, and it's going to be a 2v2 unless they can grab these revives. I think it's more likely for the side of Conqueror DE to grab this one. Oh no, I'm completely wrong. They will first flush that one out, and soon be a 2v2, I believe. I think the point, like average point per game, is such an important indicator, you know, for this scrim, because these are PMCO teams. A lot of them just missed PMPL, so if they can get a high point average, you know, in this lobby, it could be a good predictor as to how they can do and possibly qualify in the next split. And that is just Farah sending that nade in to stop that revive from coming. Aga tried his luck not so well, and Farah almost lost his life and needs to heal up now. The cover fire is there from one shot, and they continue to have a little bit of a standoff. The utilities in this late game is so important. Farah is trying to use this nade to get more pressure, would take out half of the health of Aga, and he will throw some smokes as well. An interesting work right here. 40 seconds to go, and 40 seconds at the time that a smoke grenade can provide that coverage. So he's trying to maybe confuse the side of Conqueror DE. Time to fully boost, have no spot in the circle. So this is slightly in favor of Conqueror. But you know what? I think a smoke onto one shot there would be so vital. But the pinch is really good, and this will just be the end game right here. Taking that last player, Execution UK takes the win. 7 kills. And that is really important, right? For these teams to know how to play that mid-game, you know. Have the placement points first, etc. From knowing how to secure your rotations, then slowly increase your gameplay. And there's something wrong with my camera, so I'm just going to go try to sort it out and find out what's going on. Overexposed maybe. Let's find out whether that helps. That's better. No idea what happened there. Maybe no. You know what? Because it was gloomy earlier, and now it's slightly better. So I just didn't expect so much light. Tell me if it looks good for ye lot. And that's game 1. Done. So Miramar, I mean, I really like that map. I think it's a good test for teams to show the skills in rotations, making shot stops for scouts, and controlling a pocket of positions, and a little bit less of the snake play, etc. You know, so that's probably why I like it. And we will have some of these highlights coming out as well, so I'm just going to make sure that is ready, or I'm ready when that is ready. So let's wait for that one bit. And one thing that stood out to me that game is mostly from Execution UK, and maybe in the in-game comms, so that the cover fire comes through every time a player tries to bait something or challenge another enemy. Someone's there to cover, to make it, you know, numbers advantage when it comes to firepower, and that is just really key. Trading, or what people call refrag, okay, such an important aspect of skill, and if you don't have it, you just can't be the best teams, okay. And also standing out to me was the mistake by Entropiq, you know, looking towards the edge and have everyone looking at that direction, no one to secure their backs like that. Those are the mistakes that we try to, you know, learn to not make, and that is just so vital. You know what, it's getting a little bit quiet. I should just put some music on. Let's continue with this one and see whether you guys like this. Rocking an EDM vibe, right? Today. The last broadcast as well, I believe. If you're in here, drop a hi. And let me know how you guys are doing. Is the camera still weird? Is something that I'm like looking at. I think it's borderline okay, right? It's just about okay. Right, okay, let's see. Waiting for those highlights still. Maybe that's not the plan for today. You know what? I'm just gonna check with them. You know what? Might as well just go on the short break, and then we'll come back later on, and we'll see whether they have the stats for today. I'll check with the organizers, and we'll definitely keep you guys posted. But otherwise, we'll just go on to this game screen and wait for it to start. And hey, we are back. Game to action, a little bit of Sanhok, and then with a slightly southern playing path. And I mean, it's Sanhok after all. So if they want to go to Cal, I think there's still a way to go. And Long Night, still possible with some floating. And that is just Sanhok for you. No surprise there. And the player should drop like and play like this. Someone anywhere. And of course, some of that early info comes from two aspects of skills. One, to know that where your enemies drop, study their plays. I mean, this is day 9 already. So 8 days in the past, enough days for you to study how they play. And some of these teams play against each other in other tournaments and scrims as well. So there's just no excuse, right? So that's first. And secondly, use your I button when you're parachuting, and that is, I just can't explain how important that is. You just need to play by what's in front of you. If you're lazy in terms of that, or didn't plan how to split drop in relation to how you can grab more information, then it's just one aspect that you definitely need to work on. And we have a good distribution of teams across, this whole map, but nothing too eastern. So Kampong, Lakawi, Ken Bravo, Ban, Mona all untouched right now. So very interesting split, and with some congestion, more than I thought, around the southwest part of the map. Sami, we have conquered Germany, we have Lakonostra power on the east coast as well, and they will first, and excuse me, is that just one player for Conqueror UK? I have no idea what's going on. And maybe he was in the wrong slot. I don't even know what's happening anymore. Well, I will find out later on maybe. And but otherwise, we have 13 teams and 48 players. So if we do some quick maths there, and we should have 52 if everyone's full squad. So 4 of these teams are trios. That's one way. Otherwise, we may have some duos. And in here, xteam, going from that south hill to bootcamp, overlooking bootcamp now claimed by NERA, a team that fought them off, killed xteam with a numbers disadvantage. So may not want to clash with them again, but you know what, knowing xteam, I think they can still play confidently. One knock coming through, and they meet again. SNAKEsquad and WSK very close to Paradise Resort. Captain slowly bleeding out. And Elarav is very, very careful, not to go out of cover to, get punished from going for that revive. In ruins, CrtlAltDelete, and this team basically got deleted, kind of around mid game anyway. Entropiq, a team that is historically very strong, will pinch this beautifully. I don't know what Malum's doing there. And if he's trialing for UltimaNecat, don't take him. I'm joking. Might be, things can happen in life that made him AFK, or maybe he found a spot thinking that he's safe, and but the pinch is strong coming from Entropiq. And WSK still playing as trio, right? And once again, doing so well. When they've got a number disadvantage. That first kill came through, and SNAKEsquad will need to hold this down. Let's head on 3v3, and Loka is just challenging Elarav with that Uzi, and that is also the support coming in, and that is what you want to see. Finding a pocket of position, finding one player with your teammates to respond to pinch them down, and SNAKEsquad just get pushed away. Didn't expect that one, to be fair. And maybe it's the hype coming from the big names. I mean, after all, SNAKEsquad is a very big organization around the MENA region. xteam, Andy using a little bit of the car for rotation. And the issue with doing that is, of course, generating a lot of sounds, but it comes down to good parking as well. Otherwise, you just give away so much info. And should I say welcome back, 777 Esports, because I don't think I see them in that last game. Or maybe I just having a mini stroke or something. Captain. Captain, I definitely said that name last game, but may not be this captain, I'm not quite sure. But Lakonostra power for sure was there in that game one. Cruising through, now got that 4 team of Erangel, Ticker, Style, Antho, full squad coming in from that south and that northwest island into this area. Could be punished by the side of Entropiq. Ticket is not scared to slowly push up, and that is backfire to fire first and take out Antho when he has no chance to return. But what is Tika doing? Oh my lord. Like, just out on the... knowing there's someone there, but you know, maybe Entropiq just strike at the perfect time, leaving Antho to have no ways to get out, Ticket to be out into open with no good covers, and then another aggressive peek coming from off angle will be the reason why Styles the last one standing, and he just gets taken out. And Entropiq so strong, and I think this is what they've been doing, right? Like they held the spot, they set up a trap, and they know exactly what they want to do against any team that touches that compound, and that was brilliantly executed. So quick once again, these team fights. You love to see it and you hate to see it. Sucks for the team that didn't make it, and but props to the team that has, you know, executed well. It's such a good feeling. Just imagine playing that game and your team taking out a team that you know is decent, and you just done it so clean, and that is just a great feeling. You know, we live on those feelings sometimes as players. Of course, a lot of work in the background to allow that type of synergized play, coordinated play. X-Team from bootcamp to Painan, these two teams will clash again. Oop, sorry about that, just hit my microphone there. Sorry if you got some ear pain from that. I sincerely apologize. This position though, I think the advantage goes over to X-Team. They want to control that eastern Painan Hill. As long as they don't make too much noise and have every angle guarded, they shouldn't get backstabbed. And but for the position of NERA, if the circle ever shifts away from them, very possible that X-Team would just track the movement from that high ground. And let's bring ourselves over here. Second place last game, Conqueror Germany wants to prove themselves further this game. We'll find some angles onto CrtlAltDelete, but won't be able to land some shots. Elender will reposition through that compound and rotate around. My question is where his teammates are. So they are, it's basically a 4x1 split. Elender holding that compound, maybe to stop teams coming through this bridge as well as from across the water, and Conqueror will hold that high ground. And once again, like, if you get knocked and finished, then it's considered a pretty big mistake for this type of standoff. And but you know what, I spoke too soon. X-Team actually made that mistake. Deadly tried to support and almost lost his health and his life as well. So Nightmare will be his own nightmare in this one. And NERA continues to spray them down and still face one. Pretty slow at the moment. Need to see how these teams rotate through the next one. More people coming in now. How's everyone doing? This is the Club Open Scrims. This is day 9. And this is match number 2. So after this Sanhok match, we will have 2 more Erangel games. Then we will do the same thing again tomorrow at the same time at 1600 CEST, Central European Summertime, I believe, or Standard Time. Just need to, you know, be better in general knowledge. Common sense, people say, is not so common. And Lender will continue to strike just by his lonesome, pushing away CrtlAltDelete. showing them who's boss. You know, can't cross this bridge, can't go up further either, because Conqueror DE has controlled that hill. And we have this circle. Kind of, you know, still really, really nice to these players. And that means the standoff between many of these teams will continue. And I like UltimaNecat's position. I think it's a position that dissects the map quite well and just controls the eastern half brilliantly with access to multiple strong positions and give themselves some options. And the WSK still around, you know, Paradise Resort. After taking out 2 from SNAKEsquad, they will just hang about Paradise. Maybe need some more loot. You know, after all, loot can be very, very important in Sanhok because of how the blue zone works and how people don't opt in to go for cars. High risk, high reward. So if you don't have cars, you can't do a quick rotation, and then the zone pretty much predicts your fate if you don't know how to, you know, plan ahead. And we can see Daos Legion still around Hartin and need to catch up with that zone. And with Corey in the middle here is very, very volatile, and comes down to controlling pockets of position. Entropiq very close to xteam, and I do like that. I think xteam giving away, or I should say, giving up on that East Painan Hill will be good for them. They don't have to rotate as much for the next bit, and going off center is always a good plan if you know what it means to hold that particular position. So the quarry warehouses will be their play, and there are certain small watchtowers around to give them a relative high ground into the main quarry dips. 777 still need to come in. Maybe they know that Fritella is there from behind, still in ruins. I believe that is where they dropped, so maybe an AFK player there, and because the rest of the team has crossed that Painan River already. Cave area as well, right? I do like it, and with the AWM in there, I'm not sure whether these teams will grab it. You know, it's so often that people run double AR or SMG AR in this map, and not a lot of chance for sniping. But I know players who do that. Okay, and I'll tell you the reason why. If you hold a bolt action and you're confident in it, then you also save a lot of backspace, like because if you run double AR, imagine having, you know, a bolt action instead of a M762. Then you don't have to carry as much ammo, and you can just use that for utilities and meds. Like, this map is very reliant on that few more first aids to get a few more placement points. So desperate time, desperate measure. The heal strat is very, very strong. So yeah, they could use that maybe. And UltimaNecat will first pinch this one, finding some angles onto Execution UK, trying to catch them off guard. And this is the strength of this compound, and Execution slowly comes in from the eastern side, and they need to know what it means coming through here. Very hard to cross this, and so Necat has, you know, set this up for a while now, but I'd say that's a missed opportunity if they try to open fire but not getting any kills. So, and that also means that Execution UK knows there's a player on that western side and will therefore know how to play carefully. So Necat is not helping themselves in a way. I think that was a missed opportunity based on a lack of trigger discipline. And we have the next circle popped as well. We need to find out what that means. And of course, right here, Entropiq, after very, very quick squad wipe earlier, would continue to control, and Orlando is not so lucky this time around, trying to scout forward more, and Backfire has just so much, you know, taste of blood in his mouth, really thirsty for that finish, but the control is there, and they would just have a good split into the circle. I mean, it goes over to Quarry, and the execution once again be in a decent position, and like I said, NECAT just gave that away, I feel like. If they play that more patiently and strike at a different time, it will mean so much more. And I'll tell you why it wasn't good as well, because the circle hasn't popped. It could well be shifting away from them, and then they will find themselves giving away the position that can cause themselves to die on the next rotation. So I think every decision made close to the next phase coming up or appearing or revealing itself is needs to be well thought out, like very, very, you know, controlled and disciplined. So 777 will come through the Camp Charlie bridge. I mean, showing some signs of a later rotation. I mean, maybe they're very stacked when it comes to loot, so know how to play edge. A team that's shown some skills, made it to the finals of PMCO United Kingdom. If Londa is in here as well, I believe. No, what's the name of that player? Completely forgotten. He didn't even carry the team tag, but had some 1v4s onto some strong squads. So I believe, you know, in 777, in the ability to play edge if need be. Entropiq pushing away Conqueror DE. You know, surprise there, taken 5 kills so far, and G99, you know, knows that the pressure on that side. At least he's close enough for Aga to pick him up, and Orlando just needs to be careful continuously, and Conqueror survives for now. And finally, a little bit more of that action popping on that kill feed. CrtlAltDelete is in there as well as WSK, and no, NERA is the answer. So quarry warehouses, ooh, so tricky. You know, these bits, the big trucks in the middle and these big boxes is where people set up most of those traps, but they need to have so much patience to not give away footsteps, you know, be very, very wise in using that, and love to hear that sound. The AWM is in play. So CrtlAltDelete lost one earlier and one to the blue zone. I mean, one is basically AFK and therefore died, and I can't believe NERA didn't, you know, take that player out earlier, but they were ready and they just held that down. So Lucifer, the last one standing, and that is a problem with just too focused on one fight and not knowing your other weak sides. And crazy circle once again. I'm surprised that this cliff side, just to the right side, the east side of that center, where you can see that, you know, like pale white bits right there, such a strong spot overlooking the main quarry with a lot of rocks, relative high ground to look down to the compound held by xteam as well. That might just be going into the hands of Execution UK. And but that's the issue. Imagine being Execution UK, you can't go up to that position, you know, without any suspicion. And if they do, then they need to just slowly go for it, and I want to see them playing that carefully, knowing what it means. And UltimaNecat, and what did I say, just really losing their priority to the more better positions, and losing players early didn't help. But you know what, this compound again is a very commonly contested one, and WSK continues, you know, to control. And this is revenge, actually. SNAKEsquad took them out in Miramar just now, and now they will just take this one. A very drawn out fight from Paradise to Quarry. They would eliminate SNAKEsquad at 11th position. And 777 Esports, I talked about how they've been rotating a little bit late, but if you do that, I would actually expect a lot of resources, but seems like no matter the amount of resources, it's not going to be easy. UV, the last one standing, got 2 more first aids and just got found anyway. I think Conqueror DE will be moving as well as keeping an eye on this player. The full level 3 gear is maybe the luxury that he has, and quick pro maneuver very much needed, and slowly, you know, this is the type of awareness as well, like Entropiq needing to move in but keeping an eye of what's behind them as they move is the much needed awareness in this game. And this is about time, I think. Daos Legion coming in, been stuck around Cal for so long, and now pushing up here, and the trade is quick enough. Ultra set up a trap, and but didn't make it happen. But at least they still got the position and the information, I should say, and Lost with a very good nade can take out multiple, and he takes one, and that will be Daos Legion needing to make a move, but that is Lost trying to pinch from around, and the last one standing maybe? No, it was Xerox in there first, and just because this is on that edge, Daos Legion will survive and be blessed by the circle. Essentially will get an easy entrance from this hard shift to the north side. And what, you know, is bloodbath on the south side, and what I want to see from execution is to, you know how to edge in, knowing this, you know, probably a team more in the center circle, that being WSK, but because of their positional advantage, they can see, you know, a lot of these players coming up that hill from the main quarry position. So this is kill farming for execution if they know how to use that spot. But that was first be xteam and Conqueror Germany, you know, one of the many of these teams needing to fight their way in from the south side. Incredibly brutal. Like, these 200 meters are further than people think, and we can see Entropiq also making some work. It's just people killing each other by this point, like on the south side. I feel like I'm talking garbage, and but I expect execution to be in position, you know, to capitalize on this more than the teams like below. They can literally third party, fourth party this like crazy, like from that position. But they didn't use it. So this is something that I've been looking at for execution. They know how to rotate, etc. They know how to secure a mid game, but they don't have the best off angle or spoiler play at the moment. So if you're watching, take that into account. But maybe that's because of Entropiq's like reflex. They know that it's very likely that they will get, you know, knocked from above. So constantly looking at executions, cliff top position, and always take out some heads as soon as they peak. So props to execution, not easy to enter for that one. Same for xteam. And WSK finally showing up maybe. Rough game when I last casted them, you know, last week. Also rough first game, but they've made it to top 5. Fighting off SNAKEsquad as well, you know, as a trio. Not easy. And now Execution UK needs to test the fight mechanics. And I mean, this is them needing to hold strong. I mean, if you want to practice, then Entropiq is the team that you want to practice against. Well, the damage has been done. The double knock can very easily turn into kills because of the blue zone moving in now. So seems like the plan for Entropiq is to just bring all the meds to that last player so they can increase the chance of survival. And the slow early game from Daos Legion might be in their favor. Omdidati will get knocked, followed by Rich, and Clown is the last one standing. And but with that distance in between as well, they can really hold that down. And that is Entropiq now in here, and WSK enjoying the breeze in that compound. For how long is the question? Need to see that circle. Ooh. Still blessing the side of WSK. But this is the problem, right? They know. These other two teams know. It's a 2v1v3 3 seems like. These other teams know that it's very likely that there's someone in that compound. So they know how to avoid it. So as long as they know how to avoid giving away the position and not getting killed from the compound held by WSK, they can wait for the next shift and for the circle to be out of the compound, and then suddenly WSK has a very predictable escape path, and that will not be good for them if they have not thought about it yet. Okay, and that is very important to know what it means, because they're literally on edge with the open in the, you know, in the center being a very harsh and open center position. And this is talent. Oh my lord, the patience coming through from this player to 1v2 at the moment, maybe the third one as well, but that is first to strike is Clown, and will take out Entropiq at third position, and Daos Legion make it to second place now, needing to take that 1v2, but Loka is there, and the blue zone is there to help as well. So WSK bounce back with 6 kills and a chicken dinner. Daos Legion 6 kills as well, but Entropiq, huge play, huge game for them, and that is what I mean. I need to give so much credit to that team. They fought their way into the zone, right? And that's essentially it. They were in position that could be gate kept. They fought their way through, somehow thread that needle. I've played that position before. I've been the team that needed to go uphill, or been in the position of execution who could be punishing whoever's rotating from down that cliff. I just can't, you know, believe that Entropiq made it through so far with 13 kills, I think. So that is just crazy. 23-point game. It would be nice to get that chicken dinner, but you know what? Like, you just need to play with what you have, and that is spot on by them. So very, very good play. And let me check with the producers and see whether we have highlights, etc. And the next game will come through in just over 10 minutes. So if there are highlights, I'll definitely share with you guys, and seems like it will be the case. So I'm just going to bring over to there, and we can watch a little bit of that. Then we'll go on a little bit of break, and I'll see you guys in the match number 3 on the Green Hills of Erangel.
Nice. Get the catcher. Find one for another.
Surprised actually to cross over the river so easily when Lakonostra on the other side, but no, he from down below in the river bank. Micro, he knows he's not seeming pretty confident, but without the back end of his team when they're literally on the other side of this compound, I think this is maybe a little bit overzealous, a little bit overconfident. I would have liked to see Micro back wait for the molly, gets another knock once again, twice in a row to Malum. Now he's going to go for the on push, though, he's got coming his way with the Thompson. Going to take things a little bit slow, free fire, nice free fire from Micro.
Wasn't really nice aim, but they turned it into
whoa! Jump coming up on
and in like this position, it's a really bad base inside
yeah!
area.
Forehand, then go for the red on boost. I think that's the best idea from my target. It's going to be good for the engaging, not going to be looking too good. That's going to be it. Keaton picks up one, good for the double. So, no way, Jose! Switched over to the W4 team, unfortunately. We all know Imperium close quarters combat.
Oh, sorry, I've forgotten to unmute my mic, but now I'm here. And game 3, back-to-back Erangel. Let's see how it goes. Bring that volume down a little bit, and we'll completely mute that music later on. Playing path going from just off the east side of military base all the way to Stelber, so a pretty eastern playing path there. And we can see execution going for a military base split. I think they're not going for like the main military base, but if they use the I button properly, they should send someone to go and grab those loot. There's no reason to not grab it if they think it's free and safe, and especially with Farah's position as well, and Malice, you know, already controlling the outskirts of it. 777 Esports back to Novo, the drop that they are very comfortable with, like through PMCO United Kingdom. And then we see Entropiq coming into the Milta factory split, and would be nice because we see NERA going over there as well too. Both of these squads shown some fragging power, so some early action would be really fun to see. And then we have a bit of should I say desync, but it's just the phase 1 circle doesn't quite complement the playing path, with some teams still, you know, ending up on that eastern side of this phase 1 circle, but the rest of them outside of it. So one way to come in safely is to go for wide rotation from the northern side, but this early action in favor of NERA and Entropiq, the squad that shown so much work and so much skills in game 2, will first lose a player. 14 teams, 51 players. And we're seeing this last week, and I think we've seen this in PMCO Europe wildcard as well. xteam and Daos Legion both in Yasnaya. Right, last week they I think it was xteam like winning the first one, then they knocked 2 of Daos Legion, but then Daos Legion pulled off a 2v4 and took out xteam in this contested drop. Seems like they're not scared to crash, you know, and clash again and fight. WSK though have not met CrtlAltDelete in this club open scrims, and they will test, you know, their skills against each other. Seems like in a contested shelter drop. And this is interesting for me. It's not just the fact that they will, like for Daos Legion or Scrim Farm essentially, and xteam to clash in Yasnaya again, is the fact that they need to split, you know, the car spawns around it and get to the phase 1 circle, because they are not in, and that isn't always the case when you're in Yasnaya. Like sometimes you are on the edge, and that buys a lot of time, like for you to fight in the city. We can see how xteam favors the bottom left side of the city, and a bit more split is Daos Legion, but Zeros is in position to make sure that he's grabbing all those info. And then we have WSK, you know, found by the side of CrtlAltDelete. Combined effort of Lucifer and the teammate would take out one of the trio squad already. So WSK, after winning that game 2, will lose one player and just down to a duo very early, significantly reducing the chance of winning this game. It's just love that bottom right side of the map right now. NERA is just fighting with Conqueror Germany, and also in that area is the very strong squad of Entropiq as well. So will be very interesting. Arga putting so much work in, knock after knock, confirm after confirm. And Deadly just using that micro Uzi on the outskirts. Got 1 first aid, so can only have 1 chance to lose a lot of HP. This is the perfect time for a nade, and that is Zeros losing a little bit of health, a little bit of peek and shoot. Omditati needs to be very careful with that support. Seems like xteam is ready, trying to take out the off-angle player. Zero continues with that suppressed AKM. Continues to suppress Deadly's position and his movement essentially. Clown is very aware on the side, overwatching all of this to stop any crossing players from xteam, and Nightmare will get, I'm not sure whether there's a knock on himself, but probably not, but 2 players on xteam knock right now. So Yasnaya, and Yasnaya. Last time Daos Legion pulled off a 2v3, And they will just make it even more clean this time. 3 knock coming through. And Deadly is trying to control this one. And the double knock come through. The Tommy gun is so strong. And this, wait, it's a 1v1 right now. So xteam actually gets to revive all the teammates. Thirst can come through as well, but Clown doesn't want to let this go. And Andy will just slowly heal up with that medkit. And Omditati can give that info. The best nade right now can just end this team fight, and this is at least closer than when we last watched this, and that is the revive coming through as well. Clown needs to come in, and with some good amount of gear he can maybe suppress this one, and one teammate will rotate close to him and then grab this, and with that pre-nade trying to put some work in, and will first maneuver into the building and can move up to the first floor. And that is also a lot of info coming through from the players from downstairs, and want to push in before the heal come off, but both of them just a little bit interesting maneuver there, and that is actually Daos Legion winning this once again, but will lose all their players. So 7 deaths happening around Yasnaya, and they're not even in that circle in this phase 1. But Daos Legion wins again, this time at least. It's been a closer fight, I should say. And where the hell is Entropiq? Right, so they pulled away from the very congested Milta Factory area, and just leave NERA and Conqueror DE to fight. And both of those teams been respecting each other since those early fights. And this pretty western circle plays Execution UK in the middle. Pachinki is in play. Take covers, trying to rotate through. Can claim some of these very strong high ground surrounding Quarry. NECAT coming through from the Gatka side, and should be able to grab some good positions as well. Issue with that is there's no proper access to the strongest high ground, and I think Take Cover might be in the position to grab those before any other team. And after Execution has been proactive in the phase 1 rotation, they drop around military base, just play center early. Know the cost of rotating late, especially when you have to cross the bridge. If they continuously drop at that position and other teams know that, it's very easy to choke that rotation and punish them around the western bridge, and won't be easy going to the eastern bridge for the circle anyway. You may have to first go through 777 Esports that drop in Novo, as well as all the teams that love Milta and Farm, right? So I would expect, right, for these players to know the limits, like right here, and not pushing too far out. And this drop is in the middle, and whoever becomes the greedy boy will probably get punished. It has an AWM in there, so that's something that people may risk for, but Entropiq definitely has some eyes on there and will not let anyone grab that airdrop without getting punished. So NERA lost one, but got one return kill. Not really return kill, I think it was onto Entropiq, and so it was just Conqueror DE doing what they can, killing one of NERA, then rotating out of there. So there's no need to continuously fight, and one way to do it is to think 2 steps forward. Prioritize some rotation, set up the next bit of trap, and just choke the same team that they meet in the early game. Now, Lakonostra is coming in around these pretty open fields, but with some dips around, and can just try to scout towards Execution UK's position, and slowly rotating past this plateau to the north of Farm is NERA. Stepwise progressive rotation in 777, drop in Novo, lost UV in the clash against CrtlAltDelete, but RB will just go into this track, and of course the start of CrtlAltDelete will hard peek that, and Abby will not have a good way out. I mean, the buggy's on the side, but tire's probably gone. If the buggy's not gone, I wonder what's happening, but the crash is coming through, and they are forcing this other team. You know, 777 just get outplayed there. Like, with the send, with the crash, by CrtlAltDelete, forcing 777 Esports to peak. And whoever's overwatching has done their job. Abby just dies, and the knock comes through as well. So Lucifer starting and charging in, leading the way, and giving themselves so good of a lead in this phase 2. And Insania trying to land some shots with that M16 single tap. And with that, Lakonostra definitely knows there's a team in this position. They put a mark on there and say, full team on yellow. With that yellow marker, pretending that I'm playing the game right now. May have some time to play it more. I mean, haven't been the case since I retired as an IGL. Just go into sharing more of what I know as an analyst and a caster. Entropiq should be okay. After that early loss of a player, they seems to know how to pull away and just focus on the next right thing. I don't know why I always say this. Maybe I'm a, watch Frozen, like when I didn't mean to. And they've got that song called, with the lyrics about doing the next right thing. But as an idea, I think it's a brilliant phrase and reminds people of, focusing on what's in front of them, focusing on the next thing and not, letting your emotions get to you from the thing that just happened. We need to be humans anyway, but in this game, that's part of the mentality, and you just hear so many of these teams sometimes arguing their way through from early mistakes and completely killing themselves, killing their chances to win a game. This circle new phase will center up over the last one, and with the main Gaka in play, those hills around Quarry is slightly out of the position, and with the chopsticks in play, a lot of these teams will be tested to the limits when it comes to map knowledge to know which dip is strong. It could be a hay bale play as well. So NECAT holding one of my favorite positions, but need to know how not to peek, and that is NECAT's player getting punished the headshot by NERA across that field. I'm gonna quickly check the chats, and they said these are PMCO Scrims. Where can I reach my team? British. I think that might be Destiny UK, like a name that I may remember. So you have to be in the previous PMCO. I think you may even have to be a finalist to be invited to these British, so you cannot register for these. It's the official PUBG Mobile Esports hosting them, giving the production right to StarLadder, and they will invite you if you qualify to play in these. So unfortunately you can't register for them. You need to first be invited, then you need to show up when they put you in for the day's roster. So hopefully that answers your question. Now SNAKEsquad coming into a different position. I personally find this spot tricky. Like, it's better to work through to the northern compound. So it seems like Alarev is slowly moving up. Their captain is scouting as well. Just the relative high ground and the small bits of land around is easier to play compared to the spot that SNAKEsquad's holding. And now 777's down to one player, I believe. The extended fight against CrtlAltDelete. Hype needs to play this 1v3 essentially. Maybe gave away some footsteps. This is a time to swap to FPP mode, I think. But he has the DP not once. It will be incredibly low, and that will be him going out. So CrtlAltDelete, maybe they pick up those footsteps. That's why they would be so cautious and aggressive pushing in. But nonetheless, it's so important to clear a compound once you arrive there. If you don't do that, you can just stab yourself in the foot later on. And we will have a good finish. We may see multiple teams sending themselves into these Skatka chopsticks and just playing around hay bales. And let's see how Execution does this, because they've shown quite a lot of consistency grabbing some positional points, and they're out of the circle. They've been in a position that can grab some of those info. So let's see how Insania leads the way, scouting in right now alongside multiple teams. NERA may clash with them, same for Lakonostra Power, and that is first arriving here. Entropiq taking one of the best positions around these chopsticks. The western chopsticks on that northern side has multiple dips, and then also control a good place to park the car as well. But of course the other strong ones with the underground tunnel is on the south side, where Take Cover and SNAKEsquad is around. Don't peek too far, if not you lose your head start. Key gets knocked, but the support is here from Talon. And this is the bit of the tunnel that I've mentioned. You just need to be really, really careful. The clash between the two Conqueror teams, the two regions, I should say. The Conqueror Germany punishing Conqueror UK on that rotation. I mean, after all, they won't be fighting each other unless they meet in PMPL. And you can see NERA is not scared to strike and will just take Ultra down, back onto his knees with that flush. Blanco didn't quite pick up that audio cue and almost lost his own life as well. Time to heal, buddy. And then Take Cover will, it's a bit too split over control. If you want that compound, you don't play that tunnel. Sometimes it's really hard to split because it's very unlikely that you can cover each other. And NECAT continues to hold this compound, and now they need to know very well when to peek and when not. And Conqueror DE will first punish and clash with Execution UK. Execution UK lost Bilal, and the rest of the squad are still hanging around the other side of that main road. As you can see on that minimap on the top right, they are on the bottom right of that minimap. And Execution continues to struggle for this type of circle, and they will lose another one. And that is also Lucifer putting some work in, and Conqueror DE just exerting dominance, but CAD comes in with the 10th kill. This squad is finally showing up, the trio with the momentum, taking out squad after squad. 10 kills right there. Would you stab yourself, right? Would you mind if you get a third place with no kills, right? That's 10 points, but that's the amount of kill points that CrtlAltDelete have at the moment. You know what? Coming into the chopsticks has its issues, and that is getting out. And who knows where the next phase is going to go, but after all, it's a center position, so you can bet on those odds to say that you have at least an edge position, right? So SNAKEsquad, don't challenge that too far. If you peek, you may lose a head, and that is them at least holding on to that position still, but I don't know for how long, because we'll see the next phase pop in a matter of seconds, and SNAKEsquad will just be blessed by that position. And both chopsticks are fully in the circle, I believe, and the CrtlAltDelete just need Dreaming to rotate down that chopstick one more time. They just need to make sure no one comes into the rest of the chopsticks. It's very likely that some teams will just funnel in and just stop right on top of this eastern chopstick right there. And CAD may need to slowly rotate to the other one and take cover, knows their limits, and will not try to, stay in here. Will just take the compound instead. I think is a good shout. It's easier to control, and then it will make sure that the rotation out of there is easier, because if you do it later, a lot of people may punish and may be congested around that dip already. Entropiq, not the best game so far, but we all know how they know how to use this, and that is a brilliant nade coming through from NECAT, because it's just so telegraphed, like, come on, we know someone is in there. It's not even like surprising, and this allows the relative high ground from NECAT to take out one, to take out two. The last one standing is Talon. He needs to make this count. The double knock does come through, but the rest of the team is coming in to finish that play. NECAT knows that position, and that is one of the reasons why you can't go all out in holding these positions. So hard. Just take someone to know how to control it, scout it, buy time, But meanwhile, Conqueror DE puts in so much work across the board. 7 kills right now, but may go out at 7th place because Lakonostra power is here to control and forcing Conqueror Germany out of that position and making them lose their place. Down to 6 teams now. Take cover with their rotation. And just, you know, deciding not to contest in those tunnels is just a good shout, I think. And we saw what could happen. Look at Entropiq losing lives in that one. And it was just easier to control this one. Too exciting behind that buggy. Lost is a little bit too aggressive in peeking and will require Blanco to come in to support. The zone shall be completely closed in 20 seconds, I believe. And then we need to see how that zone forces these people to move. I have a feeling that it would go to the top left side. Or maybe that's just because I'm a terrible person. I want to see people fighting in the open, and Conqueror UK at least made it to top 6. Like losing one player early and down to those 2, and gotten those 4 points. It's not too shabby. And my prediction is completely wrong, just because I'm terrible. I'm a terrible person for wanting them to fight in a tricky position, and then I'm a terrible predictor. Well, SNAKEsquad continues to hold still, right? Can use this position for as long as they want. They can find that shack right there, and that could be the next cover that they want to use. And they should at least keep holding that position to punish and you know, put pressure upon the Lakonostra power. But using this time to rotate through this chopstick in here is NECAT. What I'd say, right? It's so important to keep 1 or 2 of those players to hold the edge of this chopsticks. Otherwise, you just find yourself having a bit of a standoff within the chopsticks where everyone's just trying to spray across the tunnel. And Lakonostra power get funneled away from the different positions and from one team to the hand of the other team. But they will hold strong for now. No, I spoke too soon. Style got knocked. Antho got knocked as well. NECAT's not having the best time. SNAKEsquad is controlling the position well. And Take Cover will fail to capitalize more around here. And the SNAKEsquad at least almost 14 in that position. And Lakonostra power losing 1 and 2 and even more. CrtlAltDelete continues to hold this tunnel part there. And they are doing very, very well, I have to say. They are up to 16 points now. And that is a very, very healthy amount of points. If they can keep that consistency, that is the amount of points that we need to securely get them a PMCO qualification in the next split. But you know what? It's just a scrim, and there's not as many teams as we want, and Lakonostra goes out at 5th. This is what I mean, right? Just the tunnel plays, the chopstick plays is about just spraying along, using your cast as hard cover, you know, and then keep reviving and reviving. NECAT holds strong. I think there's a way in, right, for CrtlAltDelete, but the problem is it's very hard to maintain the cast in this situation. It's very likely that they have to move, but once again, I may be bad. But no, at least I've made this prediction right this time. I mean, it's not so hard because they're right on that southern edge, and so the circle is now controlled by NECAT with 3 kills by them, but I'm not so optimistic as to how well they can hold this down, just because it's very hard to control multiple sides, and for SNAKEsquad to come in close for the next Haybell, etc. can just give them an edge, you know, a next cover to rain some nades in. So I think with 13 kills on board right now for CrtlAltDelete, they can make to the next position and just control from the outskirts. And this is, look at these cars, completely wasted by this time, and with those smokes deployed, that is Lucifer having a way in for himself. And with experience, we know how far we can throw these throwables. So he's buying his time, and they will slowly push in from the other side. Still holding strong is NECAT, stopping the movement from SNAKEsquad. Take cover also needs to slowly come in, and but I think they're just gone. They're just gone. They're in position to maybe crash in with some, you know, control form smokes, etc. And NECAT will just be holding that position, just waiting for the time to strike. Too much with that nade. So controlled. 15 kills right now. Dreaming lost his life, but you know, might be good for them after 25 points at least for this squad. And they still have the options because, you know, they've got these positions from the outside. And the NECAT has to test it luck every time they peek, but after all, they've got the numbers advantage, maybe not so much anymore. The revive needs to come through a 4v2v1. This is good by Madum because he's just making sure that every time he peeks out, he's not getting shot from the western side, from his right. So, oh my lord, Lucifer with the double knock. Just spraying down whoever's peeking through that side. Lucifer is not scared right now. They should use this time to push in. 15 kills at the moment. The last one standing. They can maybe take this. Is it 2v4 after 2v4? It's just crazy to think about it. SNAKEsquad just get choked away. And this is Lucifer needing to grab another one, but he couldn't find this last one. But that is him very, very low, finding through the buggy. That is a brilliant fight and game for CrtlAltDelete. This completely changed my thoughts on this team. The trio played so strong, and they almost look, it's a 1v1 right now. The last first aid by Slow-Mo, and his position's completely known. Oh, I would love to see it. You know, okay, it reminds me of the many teams that I know that knows, oh, someone missed a room or something like that as well, playing as a trio, and they think it's gone. They just think zero hope, we're going to screw up 100%. Come on, it's not. Why do you sabotage yourself? Like when you still have a chance. Look at CrtlAltDelete. What the hell? Full control. 1v1 right now. Looting in those dips to find the next utility. Third person peeking. Can take this win. I would love to see them take this win, and I can show some of these people that I know, show why they're being a sad Sally for no reason. Just, dude, be the reason that you win, you know? Stay resilient. And I think this might be it. This might just be it. The nade coming in, boom! Oh, spoke too soon. I'm just using the Nyx covers so well, but at what cost? Because it's got no more first aids. I think this is to win. I think this is what I want to see. The trio is not even close. They just play it so well. They know when to not need to take some shots. They know when to not need to take some push. Didn't send into tunnel, didn't send into chopsticks, control from the outside. And it's the 1v1. Very drawn out, and I think Slow-Mo can still win this, but I mean, it's also nice to know that players got that control. Squirrel. Took me so long to find out how to pronounce the name, to be fair. Not exactly knowing what he needs to do, but he's going to lose some of his life first. This because he doesn't have the circle, so this is full on 1v1. Sometimes to maybe heal 4 times, a bit too big for this position, and the Slow-Mo is just playing so slow. And let's find out who will take this win, but Slow-Mo can't screw up anymore because he's got only 2 bandages. It's time to start. It's all pre-firing through that soft cover, and he hits some shots, and C4 needs to react, and he does, and this is how you do it, people. The trio will take, oh my lord, 18 kills. No, 20 kills. What am I doing? 20 kills as a trio. There's no reason to stop believing. If you're that team, I should say, if you're that team that sabotage yourself and thinking you have no chance because you lose one player early or you only play as a trio, then be hard on yourself. You are a loser. I'm sorry, but you are. Like you will not win with that mentality. And I think this is the stage for me to give these remarks to say how important it is. Forget about your gun skills. Forget about how good you look. Forget about your freaking montages. You take out all your mistakes and make yourself look good. What does that matter? You're defined by your mistakes sometimes, and how you react to your own mistakes, how you learn from your own mistakes as a team and as a player. I don't care. I actually don't care about people sending montages. When I manage teams and I run teams, they send me, I'll send you how I play. They send me full gameplay with team speak, then I assess you properly. Don't cherry pick the bits where you look good and you send me, making me think like you're a good player. Sorry, that's not enough. Okay, it takes so hard, so much info to properly assess a player and a team. And things like these, I've seen teams completely shatter themselves when they don't seem to have a good setup of a game. So I will not take that point away, and I will continue to hold strong to my beliefs, and because I think it's just true. And let's go and watch some highlights right now. And this is some brilliant play from the early game as well. And 777, rotating slowly through from Novo, didn't find a place after all. So that is a bit sad. And this one right here on the chopsticks, NECAT almost made it work. Good endgame, but that was a good push. And of course, towards the end, we've got Squirrel with brilliant play, taking 20th kill and the chicken dinner. I think this is hands down the biggest win we've had in this scrim, and is presented to you by a trio squad. So that's it. We're happy. With the 20-point game sometimes. 5 kills, chicken dinner, yay, happy. 20 kills, just have a look at that. And I'm just gonna let you guys digest what I just said, because I'm a little bit done right now. Like someone in the community coaching and doing player development for so long, and just continue to get bombarded by people overly confident or overly valuing themselves based on just skills, but not map knowledge, okay, not macro play, not patience, and not work ethic or emotional control. I'm incredibly done by that, so I'll just put my point out there as I go on the break, and I'll see you guys in that last game, also on Erangel, as you guys enjoy all these stats in front of your eyes. And welcome back. Last game, and I just kind of gave a speech there. I mean, but if you didn't get butthurt by it, then I think it will help. It honestly is really, really important. But if you did get butthurt, then you need to think about yourself. I'm just gonna put that out there. And right, last game, Erangel. It would be so good, like if CrtlAltDelete can get a back-to-back chicken dinner as a trio. That would be crazy. I mean, and then said the same, right? Good show, CrtlAltDelete. I mean, I have not seen them play like that, and that might be, you know, a new player I didn't even know. Like, people can still be trialing for next split, and we need to find out for ourselves. Let's go over to Erangel and have a guess. Like, where does it look like this is going from? And two, of course, this is North Georgia Pool. No, should I say South Georgia Pool, all the way to make some guess. Lapovka, there we go. And I did not cheat right there. I did not. But I love doing that. I think it's just part of my fun. Casting this game, it's nice, you know. It's really, really fun to just look at the map with that brilliant top view and know what we're looking at. So plane path slightly off to the north side, and that means execution should just play Gatka, etc. Can't go military base. And same for 777 Esports. If they're still in this game, then I want to see their adaptation, because Novo is their drop, and you don't get it every time, of course. And Scrim Farm, or should I say Daos Legion, will, for the first time in forever, I didn't say they chicken out, but they just say, I'm not going to fight in Yasnaya. I think xteam would call them chicken, because why didn't you just fight us again, right? But I think the side of Scrim Farm or Daos Legion, come on, I think I'm just going to speak to the production and say, like, what's happening to their team tag, right? It's supposed to be Daos Legion's like spot. Why is it Scrim Farm right now? But they might want to practice other things, so not as much of the early fighting. I mean, they maybe have that practice for a very long time already through the last PMCO. But you know what? Speaking of fighting, UltimaNecat will try their luck. On to Conqueror UK, and AKM first loses life, and Blitz will get 1 point. I mean, they are a duo. I don't know what happened there, and maybe they're at work, you know, etc. And Blitz just need to get the hell out. 1 point is good for now as the duo. Just get the hell out, try to find a way. But this also comes down to UltimaNecat. Like, I think if they know, if they've been paying attention in lobby and they've been looking at the kill feed at the person that they killed, they know that there's only one player left, and they should just full send it to the other side of that compound. So all these things come in, and there we have players talking about how good they are. Have a clear mind. Know these things matter as well. I'm so good with my M4 spray. I'm so sorry. I got recently too triggered by people focusing on the wrong things, and it made my job as a coach very, very hard, etc. So it's all the other spits, and the double barrel could be very strong, but Lucifer is stronger with the Uzi. And WSK, the game 2 winners will not survive for so long. I mean, they still got one player. You know what? I will look at that and see how quick they can, how well they can do as a solo. And the Necat finally pulled the trigger. I would like that to be quicker, but they made that move after all and just take them out at 14th place. How about some Rozok action? Entropiq with a different drop, and still fighting with NERA. It's interesting to see how they, when they can't go to Motor Factory or Motor Power, and they still pick the same, you know, secondary drop spot. And SNAKEsquad with the Pachinki drop, kind of nothing new, right? And the backfire just need to get into cover because it was NERA in position to stop. Did I see something flying? What the heck am I seeing? And NERA with the overwatch from the Razok Hill, putting so much work in. Oh my lord. Resqua, you are a beast with that M16. Almost took out Backfire, but Starkey did not respect that angle and will get knocked with that M16 as well. So big mistake coming from Entropiq. Not what we want to see from this team. I mean, they've got one of the highest amount of points per game, like in the scrim, and playing this as I think a bit of a tough game 3 right there, and maybe they just, you know, really affected their momentum and they just went out at 12th position in here. I mean, NERA is getting stronger and stronger. NERA, even though. And 777 just really like this out of the map, right? Like, just it's very religious. If I don't go to, you know, Novo, I will still go to close to that side. So they will claim these farm compounds, and they need to go through Conqueror DE, a team that knows the Milter side quite well. And this can be a very interesting fight. I love farm fights because it's about knowing the map and the small terrains around all the split compounds around farm, and then it's a battle of support. So if you can have a for example, if you scout it in middle of farm and you just put 3 marks with a new minimap function with a root button and say there's enemies on these 3 marks, and then if you are, you know, the teammate of the scout who put down these 3 marks, and if you know farm well enough, you would be able to find this prime spot to do as much as you can, you know, from a good position. But if you can't, then you're just dropping to farm with no particular reason. Then relying on the gun skills, relying on playing what's in front of you, and not using the map knowledge. You know, this will be an interesting one. I want to see it. The 4v4 between Conqueror DE and 777 Esports. Hype is doing the correct thing by not giving away any sounds, but he started crawling because Alendo is in position to maybe pick that up. So that means that he I gave that compliment too soon. He did not have to open fire there, but he didn't even need to move earlier if these angles are supported. You know, 777 Esports should know the weak side of Hype, which is that small hill on his right side on the top right now, and then Hype should be able to use and be the most useful by staying as stealthy for as long as he can, and he doesn't even have the nade. So this is not a good play. This is what I mean. The split was not well thought out. I think Hype is in a position that he could use better, and then but Captain is in there to at least stop the aggression when Conqueror DE wants to push further. How about even more? 777 at least is holding this one strong, and there's not going to be easy pushing out of Milter. Seems like CAD, CrtlAltDelete, having some trouble after winning that game 3. Early clash with Lakonostra power. And Captain's trying to clear this one. They know that someone's going in for the support and is trying to get more angles, and this is the good plan right here. Behind, I think that might be the golden Kobe nade. Give it to me! Boom! Back onto his knees goes Aga, and then the one shot is not even close to one shot yet, but I don't know what that is, and this is Conqueror DE just sending more people into position to be surrounded. So I don't like this play. I don't think it's smart, but they may be able to make it out alive anyway. G99 with that first knock, and what are they doing, man? Do not push it, push it. Killing themselves running in the open. You know, this is the type of, you know, like when Conqueror DE can be highly punished by this position. 777 Esports decide to run into position to allow people to third-person peek them and just make the mistakes to give that away. That is not how you push, and that is not how you fight. Oh, if they're watching, they're gonna hate me for that one, huh? Like, show me a different perspective. I'm taunting my viewers. I'm a terrible person, but I hope you can see what I mean there. Like, some positions allow you to wait for people to make mistakes, and then you get out of there alive. They don't understand the aggression and how they how should I say, how they've seen a disrespectful play as an aggressive play, and that is just not the way to do it. And I think Captain should just go down to the blue zone. It's got no other meds as well, but the nade comes in to finish, and that's really the battle between bad and worse. Who makes the worst mistake in that scenario? I don't like it, and I will not change it. I will not change that point of view for that fight. But there's some things that's done well, at least, like some early discipline when it comes to footsteps, etc. But then the trigger discipline didn't follow through, etc. And potential early fight in here. Execution UK holding this compound and may have a long mid-range standoff between themselves and take cover. It's great to have people like NN here, just keeping up with the cast as well, you know, watching all the fights and hold on. And this is SNAKEsquad trying to fight around this church of Pochinki. 1-4 Scrim farm, but SNAKEsquad takes the win. No, and this is SNAKEsquad, you know, I will compliment them for that. Like, sometimes it's very easy to hold still in the position where you drop and not be prepared to fight whoever's going past you, but they made that work. So maybe one way to prove to others that they know Pochinki well and why they choose it as a drop. We have the replay as well. Malice seems to have some good shot Kar98 onto the dome, and but it will be hard to finish that anyway across that distance. I mean, like, how many knocks do you need, right, to push this compound? How do you prep it? What is the side that you're going to crash in from? And NECAT is doing something interesting. They know that someone is on that Pochinki church outside of the zone as well, but they will first try to pop some tires. So if that's what they're trying to do, I respect that. But they are on the edge. They've got only 3 players, and that means they may need a new position. If SNAKEsquad can get out of there alive, they can out-rotate and reverse gatekeep the side of UltimaNecat. Oh, and this is going to be interesting. I can't believe, like, we've only got 7 teams remaining, and this is Scrims. When people are done, it's like, screw this. We'll just like skip the next one, etc. And xteam comes in to join the party. SNAKEsquad strikes first, but xteam will be surviving for now. And look at the bait. They want the Kar98 to peek again, and so Take Cover tried to bait with the buggy play. That is some nice ideas there. Won't disagree with that. I wish every team takes these scrims as seriously as Execution UK and just keep playing, although they may have some bad games. xteam 3 kills so far. Deadly is knocked from a distance. SNAKEsquad's trying to surround, and this is what they can do. And Eliraf is just in that position to do so much work, and that is just one step too slow, but still made the trade happen, and then just trying to completely pinch this, and with the numbers advantage established, they will be able to slowly finish this fight. Last one standing is back for Mercy, and but the question is, can Captain move in the way to make use of Eliraf's position of Overwatch? Otherwise, he will just be taking a 1 versus 1 and not making use of his teammate. Oh, and the support comes in as well. It will be turning... Oh, you know what? I want to prove my point and say how Eliraf went away. And so it was a 2v1 in favor of SNAKEsquad, and then with that revive coming through, it could be 2v1 in favor of xteam. But you know what? The 1v1 came through anyway. Confidence is key. Pre-firing is key. And not really luck, but you know, things like that happen. You can't always play it the textbook way, and sometimes striking when people are least expecting is very strong as well. And maybe these teams are slowly coming in after playing this game, and that's why we have some viewer count back up. And we have a hard shift with Everest in play. I think that's very, very interesting. I love the eastern side of Everest. Like, there's a lot of ways to progressively rotate down if need be, but the NECAT will first hold that compound. Issue is hard to keep the car safe sometimes if there's a team like Takeover that seems to be going for Everest. Yes, the answer is no. So you know what, I think it's fair, right, to not want to take Everest assuming that people are there. They're just waiting for people to go up without scouting, so waiting for people to make mistakes. But just look at the number of teams and players remaining. It's like 14 play, like six teams and 18 players, so we could expect this to, you know, be somewhat empty, but I appreciate it. Like, I appreciate the control. And this is Insania trying to take out Conqueror Germany, holding his position in here, and I do like it. Like, I think he is the scout right here, so waiting for the support to come in, very efficient, and be able to hold the multiple spots in and give info away, and that's how Execution stop by and just take kill after kill. That is a brilliant demonstration of team play, and that is also Conqueror D needing to make it work, but the Napo not coming through. The battle of supports right now, and one shot is the last one standing. So this is also interesting. Like, this type of team fight, you have to do it clean, or just know when to pull away, because you're on edge, and then teams can rotate onto you. Like, when you are coming into edge early, that means there could be another team that likes edging, and rotating even later as an edging team, right? So Execution needs to slowly come back stronger. Insania will get picked up. So after all, I think it's still a win for Execution UK. Need to know the ridge lines as Freezy moved into the next bit. If I were SNAKEsquad, I would come into, you get a third person peek somewhere, and seems like Captain is slowly coming in for that, but it's also important to not get too exposed, because the weak side could be from the west or the east. Mostly the west, the main side of the circle. How does it feel, guys? Hearing my brain at work, and Captain does strike after all, and we'll take one and take two, man. Those smokes are too late. They are relying on people to not push over, and the smokes need to be there earlier. And I don't know, those pickups shouldn't take that much time, and they need to know where the pressure came from and know that it's a ticking time bomb if they don't get at that position upon the revive. To, you know, the slack, right? It's always those 20-30 seconds after team fight, the full sense of security, right? The full sense of security after a fight, the 20-30 seconds, and you just like walking around, like moving around, not thinking, relying on the fact that you've won a team fight and not doing the next right thing. 2v4 by SNAKEsquad. Big lesson for Execution UK. I mean, they've shown their strong suit, but a lot of the things that they are doing rely on their prediction of the circle and fighting a linear fight. What I mean is they are in the position that focus on one side, and then if they tunnel vision, they don't get punished by the other weak side as much. But that is not enough, right? Like, if you want to make it to PMPL, you need to be able to take neutral fights in open to assess multiple sides and then make very decisive calls as to when to pull away. Like, what does it mean if I keep staying here? And that's something that a team like Execution needs to learn. SNAKEsquad, Alarif, and Captain on their way to maybe grab the 16 kill of the game. Take cover, don't want to give that away, and they will take that nade, and Alarif put some damage down before needing to go down, and that is Blanco trying to push further. This is scary. If this, right, listen, if they know the numbers advantage because they've been watching at the kill feed, then fair. But you know what? It's a tournament room, so they can only see a number of a not player, and they still try to push through that smoke thirst anyway. What if SNAKEsquad is a full squad? Then Blanco would have put himself in a really bad situation, and he can die from thirsting that way. So that's what I mean. Like, unless they know the team number of SNAKEsquad and say, hey, it's team 3. They've lost to already. They're only the last guy for team 3. But you know what? I think it's a very hard skill to master, and I don't think they know. I don't think they went for that. I don't think Blanco went for that bold thirst because he knows that it's SNAKEsquad, and he knows because there's no way, because he only saw the team number, and then he decided to push through anyway, unless he knows the team number of SNAKEsquad and know they've lost 2 already. Otherwise, it's just a bold play and should be highly punished. And we should always look at, you know, our mistakes, even when it's not punished, and that's how we can improve. For those who tune back in after playing, I hope you get my point, and I hope it makes sense. Don't be shy to drop a like and drop a hi, and would mean a lot. I mean, like, I think I hit 800 subs, go back to 799. It's not the thing that I care about that much, but you know what? It's entertainment for free, and even just with a few clicks, if you can make someone's day, why not? Now, if you're reluctant to give it to me, it's fine, but I mean, it's, in general, through other content creators and streamers as well, like, a lot of the good things in my stream, just give it to people. And SNAKEsquad's captain will actually survive and take cover. Blanco finally get punished by another team, right? But last one standing for SNAKEsquad, and take cover just want to move into a different position to completely choke this one, and captain will need to rely on this one rock. Not sure whether they still have. He still has intact vehicle. If he does, then he can maybe smoke it and just get buy some more time, but that's his buggy gone, and he has to try to rely on other teams to fight off other enemies before he goes down, because take cover is very tunneled on him to get that finish, and this may allow me to put another point. They want this kill so bad that they rotate towards the western edge, and they have no priority to the center. So I understand you want that kill, but at what cost? It's fine if they know the cost and they've prepared for the next steps. I mean, Twix is in position to maybe form a triangular formation on the western half of the map, so I respect that. That's fine, and they can choke a lot of these players rotating through, but they've missed one chance already. How about take this one better? One shot, basically one shot from above, and Lost needs to see whether he actually wants to go for that. And UltimaNecat showing their presence and telling Lost to not get too aggressive onto finding that angle. And it's no good to need to be reminded of a weak side. I mean, if NECAT strike better or gathered, you know, firepower, Lost could have been just knocked right there. So I'll try to. This is what I can do for the community. That's it. Like trying to dissect the plays, analyze it as much as I can, so that teams and players can learn. Like if you have an open mind, then I think there's something that you can take away from it. I mean, after all, I do coach a PMCO team. And Lost will finally lose his life, as he should. I mean, if Blanco got punished for him being overly aggressive and not knowing the limits of his cover, then I think Lost should as well. Same for Ultra. You know there's a guy there. You get distracted by UltimaNecat and gave an angle to the one guy that you were trying to chase after 2 minutes ago. So that is something, right? That is something. Take Cover needs to take note of what they've been doing in this game. And with those many knocks coming through, etc., that will be NECAT trying to take down more. But Captain will just actually take out 2 of the full squad of Take Cover who tried to hunt him down and now be faced with a 1v3. I don't think he has a position in the circle. He'll try his luck once more, but it's better to go out to the blue to practice, you know, doing this quick math. It's not worth it otherwise, but they take 18 kills. Captain with 8. And what can I say? I think we had a good dissection of what's been happening in those fights. You know, trying to go into the shoes of these players, thinking what's going through their head, what might they have missed, what have they might like have done wrong, etc. So that they can do better and become better as players and teams. I mean, that Take Cover fight, with 3 individual mistakes of disrespecting weak sites and cover fire, and even forgetting why they were at that spot in the first place. They tried to, you know, kill one guy. He's got 1 rock, 1 life, 1 player. And they actually lost 2 players to Captain from SNAKEsquad. But that's about it, guys. A lot of analysis, just the stuff that is natural to me. Right, I'll leave you guys to watch some highlights. I'll see you guys again tomorrow at the same time, 1600 CEST. We will have day 10 of the Club Open Scrims. I'll see you guys then. Have a brilliant night.